Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's not a story, but it's how I look at things overall. So for me, well, let me start here. So the way I think about opportunity is that it happens all the time. That opportunities present themselves usually daily, and the reason that we don't recognize or think that they happen as often as they do is because one of three things is missing. One is just having the openness to the possibility that an opportunity might arise. We may be so fixated on one direction and one type of way of viewing our circumstances that we're missing the possibilities that come our way. So we need to be open to the fact that possibilities exist. The second is flexibility. That once we recognize that these things are happening and it may be a possibility, we got to be flexible enough to shift and to move and say, all right, yeah, I was going that way, but I need to go this way. This is the better way to go. And to be able to see that flexibility and take advantage of that. And then the third, and this is where this just trips up a lot of people, is having the courage to take that first step into that unknown, into that new direction. And and that's where opportunity lies, is the openness, the flexibility, and that courage to move forward. So for me, the magical thing is how that process connects over time. So when I think about just all the little things that had to happen, and I can go back a long way, but I'll just go back to high school where I happened to end up in a drama class. And that drama class, we did some kind of show, and the drama teacher, I ran the lights. So that was another thing. I don't know. They just said, Brian, you should do some lights. I said, all right, that's cool. So I did that. And then from that, this drama teacher knew a guy who worked at a theme park. Opryland was in Nashville back in the day. Now it's a mall, but it was the theme park back then with shows. And he knew a guy who was a lighting designer there. And he's introduced us, and the guy got me a job as a technician at a show out there. And the company, or the stage manager, my very first summer at that show, was the company manager at the Batman stunt show that I went to. And so there I am at the stunt show, and now I'm able to do stunts. And while I was skipping school during the senior year after I'd already done the thing, I went to the golf course at Rutgers. I just went by myself to play golf. Happened to be three people in front of me, one of whom happened to be a stuntman from LA. My plan was, after doing the stunt show in New Jersey, to go to Florida and go try to do the Indiana Jones show or whatever other stunt shows are down there. But I played golf with this guy. We spent 4 hours talking about stunts, and he said, move to LA. And I said, okay. And I did. And through him, I started playing in the Stuntman Softball League, and I met all these other people, and my career started to take off. So it's these little things that, people just describe them as serendipity, or it's God's plan, or it's whatever. I don't see it as any kind of plan or anything else. I mean, I could have gone left or right, and who knows what would have happened. If life may be a whole lot better if I hadn't met the guy at the golf course. It would have been different. But I still would have been able to look back and make those connections. And I think that's part of humans. We want to make meaning of things. We want to create some sort of cohesive story. Our brains do not like ambiguity at all. It will fill in gaps regularly. And there are all kinds of studies around this, and they're very interesting about how the brain will just make up stuff to fill in the gaps of our knowledge. But that's how we think about the past. So as I do think about the past, even knowing what I just said, it's still magical to me how these series of connections, these series of seemingly random events that could have gone either way, ended up going the way that they did, and they put me right here. So there's no argument that all of those different little things all came together to make me who I am sitting here talking to you right now. And to me, that's magical. Even if it's not a plan or any kind of destiny or anything else, it's still what happened. And that to me is fascinating. So I don't know, that's just my perspective on that.